It's nice of you to tip the peasants once in a while. That's all right. That's talking to him here. Okay, so what happened this week? We had, for you, you always whine and complain about the environment and clear cutting and the gas, the spraying. So was this an opportunity this week?
Well, it's an opportunity to hear from all kinds of people who talked about their issues around glyphosate and forestry overall. Clear cutting was a big topic.
So did we accomplish anything? Did we educate anybody?
Well, I think we educated some people, absolutely.
Who did we educate, Mike Holland?
I think some of the presenters certainly educated all of the MLAs on the committee. Matt Betts, for example, from here, did most of his research here for many years, and is living here right now, but he's posted at the University of Oregon, did an amazing presentation of his research. It's extraordinary. Two things.
Sorry about that, Pierre. I just see it. Sorry about that. We're just butting there.
Two things. He found that after using glyphosate, the biodiversity drops by something like 15 to 19%, and he found in New Brunswick that because of the whole system we have of clear cutting and converting the forests over from what they were before they were clear cut, sometimes to plantations and spraying, we have lost what, 30 to 40% of the habitat for forest songbirds. 54 species of forest songbirds have lost between 30 and 40% of the habitat.
And that's not counting the LNG in St. John that burned thousands there. Okay, go ahead.
Their numbers are plummeting. So real good evidence of a real terrible impact of the way we're doing forestry on Crown lands.
Are you trying to tell me that for once the community of a whole was interesting?
It was. It was. Well, we're a standing committee.
Yeah, the standing committee. Usually it's boring. You know, you can't. I mean, you just have to show up there. It's hot. There's no air condition. But this time around, did all the MLAs seem interested?
Very interesting. Yeah.
Very. That's a big word.
Yeah. Well, it was very interesting.
So what are they going to do about it? Well, we'll soon find out.
We're not done. We've got one more day of hearings.
I thought it was done Friday.
Well, for now, but we've got one more day of hearings before we finish with First Nations, and then we will meet and put together our recommendations and see what we come up with.
Who was that woman that was standing up? I just saw on TV there. I just taped it. I mean, I saw a woman somebody was green and white.
Yes, Ms. Van Geest.
Who?
Van Geest is her last name.
Okay.
Where's she? Miranda is her first name.
Where's she from?
Elgin, in Albert County.
Okay. Yeah, she was pretty passionate.
And she was great. Yeah.
So, you think Mike Holland learned something?
I think he and everyone else did. Absolutely.
That's the minister, Mike Holland, Minister of Forestry and Natural Resources.
He seemed particularly enthused with the presentation that Matt Betts gave.
Yeah.
And because Matt's research is extraordinary. And he's also a very good teacher.
Was Blaine Higgs there? Of course not.
No, the premiers don't sit on committees.
Why, can't they sit down and watch?
Well, it's never happened as far as I know. It's not really.
I mean, it's getting totally out of control. Before you were MLA, and you were really kissing my ass for me to talk to you about the forestry.
Where's your mask? Speaking of.
Never mind. I got my 2 shots. So anyway, you got a mask on. So the Forestry Act in 2014, and it was very David Alward didn't listen to people. So at the end, it would be up. Don't matter what you guys say, it's going to be up to Blaine Higgs.
Yes, of course.
Was Mr. Irving there?
No.
Was his henchman there?
No.
So they don't have to be there because they know Mr. Higgs is not going to do anything.
Well, it is an unusual committee because we have 3 ministers. Usually you don't have ministers sitting on committees. And these ministers are all implicated in some way around glyphosate. So the Minister of Natural Resources, of course, is used in forestry. Minister of Agriculture, it's used in agriculture by some, and Minister of Environment, who actually gives the approvals for spraying the glyphosate on the forest.
And that's what I was going to say. 2014, when you were very concerned, and J.D. Irving showed up and everything, the promise of jobs and everything, the clear cutting is really bad compared to 2014. It's out of control.
Clear cutting is terrible. About 80% of everything that's cut is cut using clear cutting. It's terrible, and you know, we've got to change that.
And the spraying, they don't allow. They say they don't allow spraying in Quebec.
That's right. Quebec and Maine just brought in a bill to pass a law to
Quebec, you can't spray.
Can't spray on forest.
Yeah.
In Maine, they just passed a law to stop spraying in their forests.
They passed a law or just a bill?
They passed, yeah.
They passed a law.
Yeah.
So Quebec, but you could spray in Quebec in farmers,
yeah.
farmland. Okay, so you could still spray in farmland,
yeah,
but not in the forest.
Yeah.
Okay.
The spraying on farms is regulated by Ottawa,
yeah,
and on the forest by the province.
So how come we can't do that here?
We could.
But Mr. Irving will be upset, right?
Yes, he would. It's just a question of the Minister of Environment refusing to sign the permits that allow them to spray.
But if Mr. Environment signed a permit, he'll be fired. He'll become a backbencher.
Well, look what happened to Bruce Northrup when he brought in a forest management plan that was, you know,
what happened?
Halfway decent. He got fired.
He got fired.
And he got replaced. And then they cut the deal with J.D. Irving to give them all that extra wood and take away some of the regulations on the Crown and eliminate wildlife habitat.
You mark my word, when J.K. Irving kicks the bucket, he's about 92 years old now, and J.D. takes over, then you're gonna see tyrants. Oh, it's gonna be crazy. Okay, thank you.
See ya, Charles.